Sean, when you took maybe a second and third pass through the Georgetown game, I don't know, what were your second and third impressions of it, things you'd like to shore up? Obviously, the defense probably stood out, but what were your impressions of that upon looking at it again?
Well, I thought first and foremost, I thought as a team we were ready to play the game, eager to play the game. Playing on the road, first non-conference game in December before Christmas, not an easy task. But I thought we came out of the gates playing well, and our offensive numbers in the game really speak for themselves. There's always things you wish that we could have done better, but when you play 40 minutes, score the points we scored, have the high assist total. We also played a stretch in that game, I believe a 17-minute stretch where we did not turn the ball over. So, from an offensive perspective, it's certainly one of our best performances of the year. And defensively, even though I could really be critical of our overall defense, we did have some stretches where we played well. We got stops. But I think for our team to continue to improve and reach the heights that we all want to reach here, we have to continue to be good on offense, but I think just incrementally improve, just add to what we're doing defensively so that, we can get stops and we can go long stretches on defense where we prevent the other team from scoring. That's what we continue to work on. But for the first road game in conference play, we left there just feeling obviously good about being 1-0.
Shaheen Holloway took a fun, memorable route to the job at Seton Hall. What would you say between what you've seen of him at Seton Hall as well as St. Peter's? What do you think are the hallmarks of a Shaheen Holloway coach team?
Well, I think Shaheen he's a great fit for Seton Hall. He played there. He's one of the all-time great guards to ever play in that program. He's also a New Jersey guy, and he also learned a lot and was a part of Kevin Willard's staff as well. So I think him going back to his alma mater in his own home state, coaching for a program where he's very, very familiar with, even from the perspective of, a lot of the great things that Kevin did at Seton Hall. I think Shaheen has that in him. He did that at St. Peter's. But, in terms of watching them play, they're a together group. They're very, very good on defense, one of the top 25 defensive teams in America. On offense, they get fouled a lot. Again, a top 10 team in a country and getting to the free throw line. So if you think about top 25 defensive team, a top 10 offensive team and getting to the free throw line themselves, they're a cluster of just physical wings, forwards, and guards. And I think their guard, Richmond, who was coming off of a 28-point performance against Providence, he's a very, very good player. And they have other good players as well. So, who is Seton Hall? Tough-minded, gritty, very good on defense. And also, because of the makeup of their team, they really can get out and transition and hurt you. So we have our hands full. I think any team that plays Seton Hall would say the same thing.
If I'm not mistaken, Souley won Big East Player of the Week. Look, you brought him in, obviously had a great career before coming to Xavier, but has he exceeded expectations for how well he's played this early into joining a new team?
I think he has, and I'm always hesitant to talk about it because there's so much basketball in front of us, and, we want him to continue to be good and continue to improve. But no doubt, he's been a godsend for us through our entire non-conference schedule. The thing that gives all of us confidence, including him, is, our non-conference schedule was a tall order. We played against some of the best teams in this country, played in Portland, played on UC's home court, playing against a very tough-minded West Virginia team. We certainly played against a lot of different styles and teams. So for him to play the way he has, I think it gave him a lot of confidence. It gives us confidence in him. I think more important, he's prepared for what's to come.
How rare is it for a guy to look? He comes into a team that's already talented, had a lot of guys who have been here before, several years. For him to come in here and assume the role he has as one of the leading scorers, one of the leading playmakers? How hard is it for a guy to do that coming from outside of the program, dropped in here and perform the way he has?
I think it's very difficult to do that. One of the gifts that Souley has is, just simply put, he's a great kid. I mean, he's a fun guy to be around. He's easy to coach. I think from a teammate perspective, he's one of the more popular players on our team. He just goes about his business in a very unassuming, humble way. One of our hardest workers. So it's easy to welcome a guy in like that because he's not really coming in to do anything other than just fit in and play well. He can shoot the basketball. His ability to make free throws, get there, his ability to make three-point shots, it's added an element to our team that has been very helpful.
Sean, this is a Big East home opener, big game, but it happens during a window of the season that all coaches face every year, where it can be just a little bit weird inside the arenas. Students are on campus, they're off campus, you're staring down the Christmas season, all the maybe distractions that come with that. Do you find that this group is a group that you need to address such things with? Maybe you just do that uniformly with any group that you're working with?
It's very difficult. It just is. A final exam week for a regular student is a very anxious time. Yeah. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of sleepless nights, just extra work. And, we played a road game and a home game during finals week. And now, the next feeling is these guys haven't been home in a while, and they're anxious to be able to get away from Xavier, get away from, where they live in basketball, and just to be around family and friends. But we're not there yet. And guess what? We have a really big game. So I think it's kind of the new way of college basketball. I mean, we play St. John's on the 28th. Yeah. We play Seton Hall tomorrow. And all these teams throughout college basketball seem to have more games in and around the holidays than maybe we once did. College basketball has a way of taking away all holidays. In the summer, 4th of July is recruiting. Birthday for me, November season. Thanksgiving, always gone. You just spoke about Christmas, Easter, recruiting. I mean, we could just keep going on and on. If you name one, I'll give you trick or treat. You got probably practice. So we've found a way, I think, to take away all holidays from us. But you have to be able to juggle both. We have a mature group. And, the one thing that I talked to our guys about earlier, Seton Hall has not lost in the Cintas Center since 2018. They come to Cincinnati, and they win. And there's nobody that's a part of their program that's ever lost here. And there's nobody that's been a part of our program that's ever beat them at home. Seton Hall, for 4 years, has won the game right here in the Cintas Center. So, we respect Seton Hall. That right there, I think, gives an added layer of respect. And we know we're going to have to play really well, like we did against West Virginia at home. It's going to be that type of game. And, my hope is that our crowd looks at this as a holiday treat, an opportunity to see a great home Big East game before everybody settles in for the Christmas spirit.
I'd love to prod you a little bit about what you just talked about, the phenomenon, kind of the modern North American sports phenomenon of having more games around the holiday season. That's probably very good for the business of college basketball and selling the games for TV and all that. How do you take that as a coach and a leader of relatively young men? Is it good for them?
There's probably good and bad for all of us, yeah. But it's what's required. When our conference goes to 20 games, keep in mind that the Big East did that a year ago, but because of COVID, not everybody was able to play 20. I think this year we'll all be able to play 20 for the first time, and it's a tall order. 10 at home, 10 on the road. We all go to Madison Square Garden on the heels of some of the non-conference games that I talked about. So, our teams will be battle-tested, and, it's our job, players, coaches, to be the most prepared and ready we can be. And no doubt, travel, holidays, sometimes playing 3 games in a week, those are all things that, test us. And if you want to, I think, be there in March, these are the tests that we have to pass.
You've talked about it a lot, so we know it's on the top of your mind, the defense and getting it better and getting it to where you want it to be by the time this team gets to March. Look, we know you can't snap your fingers and get it to where you want it to be, but what are the small incremental wins you're looking for here the next couple of weeks with the defense, the small things that you're telling these guys so that they start to proceed in the direction you want them on defense?
Yeah, I think it just starts with us just being overall better at defending the dribble, guarding the ball. I don't – it's like the line of scrimmage in football. That would be the analogy. Sometimes you take for granted what happens there right on the line. And I think in basketball, individually being able to just, guard the ball without fouling, that's a huge test for us tomorrow. Individually, not getting beat off the dribble, staying down. I think that's one thing. I think the second part of it is just, we have given up a very high percentage from the three-point line. And it comes in different fashion and form. It's not just one player. All of us, I think just as a team, we can be more responsible for how we close out and find shooters and know that that's something that we have to be better at. And I think those two things, rebounding a month ago was probably a sore subject around here. I still think we can get a lot better, but we've really rallied. That's something we're a lot better at today than we would have been a month ago.
Thank you. And it's the conference home opener for yourself upon your second stint here at Xavier. Does that move the meter for you at all emotionally, or is it just kind of like this is what's required of my job right now?
No, it moves the meter. I love coaching in the Big East. I'm thrilled to be here. I played in this conference. There's a lot of pride in the Cintas Center about being a member of this great conference. It's an immense challenge. There's no easy out. Every game is a tall order. Good coaches, good players, very, very good teams. And, I've watched it over the years. I've been a part of it. And I think the respect level is, as high as you can have. And that's why, a game like tomorrow, even though it's before the break, maybe our students aren't here. We have all the different things we can look at, but this is an exciting opportunity to have a chance to go 1-0 at home in the Big East. And I think all of us really understand what that is. It's not just the next thing. It's the thing for us. And be able to go to the holiday season with back-to-back Big East wins, I think is great as well. So that's the challenge in front of us. We're going to have to play a really good game to do it.